Hello, guys. Welcome to another edition of Across the Border series. Let me start by apologizing for starting a little later than we should have because we had a little technical issue that we needed to resolve. So, once again, if you're joining this channel for the very first time, welcome to Grow with Small channel, where we talk everything personal development. And in this series, we're talking about how you can succeed across the border, which means how you can succeed regardless of wherever you find yourself. And we have had a conversation about how you can succeed in Germany. We've talked about how you can succeed in the UK. And today we're talking about a country that you probably would not have thought about, but we needed to talk about this country because it's important that people understand that going abroad is beyond the US, the UK, and Canada. There are really good countries out there that you can explore, that you would even have a better life, but then you wouldn't know if we don't tell you. And that is why we're here today to tell you. And of course, to tell you about Norway. It's such a pleasure to be having Mr. Michael joining us today. Mr. Michael, welcome on the call. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
joining this call.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's so great to
Um,
be here. Magdalene, it's so great
Thank
to be
you.
here. Thank you so much for having me in this. I want to first of all say um, great work you're doing, and thank you
Thank you.
for committing to this work and to exposing a lot of people to opportunities, potential opportunities in different parts of the world, across
Yeah.
the world. And I'm very happy to be a part of this journey.
Thank you so much. I really should not be chit chatting here, but I'm just going to chit chat how I met Mr. Michael. All right.
Yes.
Interestingly, I met him on Clubhouse, and this was years back. And I mean, it's been good keeping the relationship up until now. Let's not talk about the relationship. I mean, the currency called relationship. It's a huge one, and I'm glad today that I am enjoying that currency of relationship, which is why we have someone like Mr. Michael on the call today. Thank you once again for joining this call, and I look forward to an exciting conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Yes, thank you. So we're going to dive right quickly into the questions. And for me, it's not going to be satisfying. The first question will be for me to satisfy my curiosity. Why not Canada when you were thinking of relocating? Why not Germany? Why not UK? Why not US? Why Norway?
Yeah, actually, to be sincere, I did try to, when I began my relocation journey, my very first option was the UK, but I quickly switched to Canada because, it was sort of at that time becoming trendy. It was becoming a little bit more popular. And I tried to go to Canada. I applied, I got some admission, and I tried to, move through education to do a master's. I did get multiple master's admission to Canada, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to scale through the visa application process and all that. So I didn't get to do that. So I thought of the next available option. I've always, no, not like what I've always talked about Norway. Norway is a country that I had I think I somehow, you know, it was a Scandinavian country, so but Norway particularly caught my attention because it had the potential for me, especially having worked in the oil and gas industry, knowing that Norway is an oil-rich country, to find opportunities that were connected to something that I had experience in. And so I decided to try Norway, and that was it. I got the admission. As soon as I got the admission, I decided to take that step to come to Norway. I think it's perhaps one of the best decisions I've made, uh, was to relocate to Norway. And I can tell you that it's been a wonderful journey.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm glad you're already talking about the benefits of Norway for those who are hearing about Norway for the very first time.
Yes,
Like I said, people have no idea what they can enjoy in some countries that they seemingly do not see as popular countries. But here we are
yes,
today talking about Norway being an oil-rich country, and which means they are not. You wouldn't categorize them as a poor country that wouldn't make life as easy for you as you would get in the Western world. I'm using the Western world now, carefully selecting some countries that we are all very familiar with. So thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you very much for that. I was going to ask you that now that you are in Norway, if we give you a Canadian visa right now, would you still want to take it, or you think Norway is it for you?
No, no, I have no interest in going to Canada. As a matter of fact, and Norway is. I think Norway and Canada have a bit of similarity in terms of the climate. Canada is cold. Norway is quite cold as well.
Yeah.
Canada is oil rich in a different way. Their oil is a bit different. Norway is oil rich, but it's mostly subsea, so their oil is in the ocean. And
Okay.
so Norway is perhaps one of the most developed countries in the world. It's if you read about it, it's a small country, but it's very advanced. Standard of living is very high in Norway. Quality of life is very high in Norway. Work-life balance is very high in Norway. So I mean, we'll go into the details of that, but the direct answer is I would not trade my current situation in Norway to go to Canada to start all over again. No, I won't do that.
Amazing.
But I'm happy to
So
travel. I'm
there is
happy to
this
travel to Canada for
Canada
holiday.
for
I'm happy
vacation.
to go there for vacation. Okay, that's
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. That's good to know. So I wanted to ask, there's this popular misconception that a lot of people have about when you travel out of the country, how really hard it can be to settle down, to achieve the dreams that you have for yourself in those countries. You probably have to work menial jobs for a long time before you can find your way. Do they have such situations in Norway?
I think it's typical, especially when you have to relocate to a new country, where you need to quickly get your feet on the ground. So here's how it happens. If you come to Norway through education, you probably want to sustain yourself. It's quite an expensive country to live in, so you need to get a job. That's the truth. Well, it's so important that you are able to get a job in order for you to, continue here in Norway. It's an expensive country to live in. But the good thing is that you can find many jobs that are also well paying that can help you
Okay.
to at least pay your bills while you're studying. And the way it works here in Norway is that those menial jobs are expected to be temporary. They don't expect you can't really use them to process any of your documents
Okay.
or to sort of establish your stay in Norway. But what you can do is use them to earn a living while you're studying
Okay.
or trying to find another a job that is fitting.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. I think at some point we're going to get into the various ways people can come into Norway. But before we
Yes.
get into that, I want you to talk about the mindset shift that you have had that you think had helped you to survive in Norway, especially given the fact that at the beginning, just like every other country, as you had mentioned, you would have to, do the old dirty job for a while. How have you
Yeah.
sustained yourself in terms of your mindset up to the stage
I
you are
think
today?
I think of course, when you have to relocate to a new place, you have to understand the rules of engagement
Okay.
and what are the priorities, what are the things that are important, what are the things that you need to succeed. I think number one is uh, understand that you're in a new place. Understand that um, this place has rules, has metrics. I need to find those metrics, and this is what I did. I wanted to understand what was important,
Yeah.
what makes you valuable to anyone, and why would they want to hire you? What's your edge? What's your advantage? That's that mindset shift. Of course, Norway is completely diametrically different from Nigeria in terms of culture, in terms of work, in terms of even um, KPIs or things that we standards or things that we uh, claim to be important in work. But one thing is universal, is excellence and being a person of value. So I think that's universal. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Nigeria, or whether you're in Canada or in Norway. You just need to understand that you have to be a person of value. And
Yeah.
every other thing is a top up. Every other thing is a sort of like a tactic to maybe making your value visible. That's a strategy. You know,
Yes.
packaging your value. That's a strategy, and all of that. But the key thing is, forget about packaging. Forget about visibility. The the core is I need to make myself a person of value. It starts with it. It starts with like, okay, am I a person of value? I need to make myself a person of value before I start networking. If you're not a person of value, what are you networking?
What are you giving to that network? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. What are you bringing to the network? If you're not a person of value, what are you? You just make yourself a person, make yourself someone that is needed. Then see that
Yeah.
I need this person. So that was the most important thing that helped me to adjust very quickly when I came to Norway. That I decided I'm going to make myself a person of value. I'm going to make myself someone that is I find my niche and be so good in that niche to the extent that they need me in spite of maybe limitations, in spite of biases, in spite of idiosyncrasies. They will look beyond all of those things because of your value.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And I think I like that you're talking about it also from a general perspective.
Yes,
Um, Across the border series is basically strategy of how you can succeed, and beyond succeeding in specific locations and understanding what those locations entail, there are some
yes,
general laws that would help you succeed anywhere you find
anywhere in the
yourself,
world.
which is what you have
Hmm.
shared now. Becoming a person of excellence and a person of value. So what that means is, even if you decide that you're not going to Norway, it's important that wherever it is that you decide to go to, you carry
Yes,
yourself with that level of value that you can give to wherever you find yourself. Thank you so much
absolutely.
for sharing that. Thank you. So my next question, you talked about culture. I want us to talk a little bit about the culture, especially the culture difference with Nigeria. Did you have any culture shock? What's the culture like over there in Norway?
Yeah, Norway, the Norwegian culture is very, very different from Nigeria, where I come from. It's different in the sense that we're a bit more communal. Norwegians are a little bit they're not as communal as we are. They were loud. They're not very loud people. They're only loud. A typical Norwegian is loud only in the club when they have drunk so much and they're drunk. Then they're loud. But an everyday Norwegian is calm, is very reserved, and sometimes you can perceive them as cold.
Okay.
So but it's not like that for us. Where we come from, we're a bit loud, we're a bit all over the place and all of that. I mean, some of the culture shock was living with people that you don't even get to talk to. You don't even know their names, and you live with them, live in the same compound or in the same building with them for years, months, and you probably don't even know their names. And so these are, and you just have to mind your business, right? But also, there's the culture, there's the positive and the negative to it, really, at the end of the day. The positive, some of the positive is the fact that, of course, Norwegians are very, very sincere. The crime rate here is low. Uh, Not in every place. In big cities, you can be robbed, you can lose your things and may not find it. But generally, overall, things are better, more trusting. If you lose your things, you're most likely to find them because no one really is interested in stealing them. It's not like if
Yes.
there's no crime, but the crime rate is quite low.
Oh,
And
yeah.
these are some of the cultural, being always on guard. You don't have to be on guard. You can actually leave your doors open, and not be afraid of being intruders coming into your home. I'm not saying you
Yes.
don't have that, but it's just so low as compared. So these are some of the cultural adjustments that I had to. But I think for the negative, I think it mostly has to do with Norwegians are quite cold. They can be really cold. So you need to You need to take time to build that connection. The truth is that once they open up to you, they are very good. They will be very good friends. It will be good relationship. But the problem is breaking into that circle. It can be
Yeah.
difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It can be difficult breaking into circles. So, but once you're able to break into the circle, they'll be there for you. They will love you. They'll be there for you. But also, I mean, there's so many things I can continue to. Man, you can't just go to a Norwegian's house. You can say I'm just coming to your house like we do in Nigeria. Yeah, I'm calling. No, you have to book an appointment. You have to book an. I'm
Interesting.
coming so and so day at this time. You have to book. You can't just come. Back here you could just I'm coming, and you just run. No, you don't do that.
I was
So yeah,
passing by.
yeah, unlimited. No, not like that. It's a bit different. There's so many. I think it's generally. I don't know if it's generally Western because some Europeans are loud. Italians are a little bit loud, like we are Africans. So, but Norwegians are uniquely conservative, cold, reserved, but it can come across as though they are being uh I'm trying to get the right word now. It can come across as though they are snobbish, but they're not actually snobbish. It's just that they are minding their business. They're cold. You know, you really the greeting here is not hey good morning. The greeting is hi, hi. Except you're quite close to the person that you greet to say good morning
Yeah.
or something, or in Norwegian say good morning and all that. So it's a little bit different, but there are positives and negatives at the same time as well.
True. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe that somebody who is looking to go to Norway now understands what they're going to expect when they get there and not think, oh, I'm in a new place. This is how we should network. Let me go and network so that
And
someone does not lock you up.
exactly. So you don't just, walk up to people and talk to people. You have to, sort of carefully build your network here in Norway, carefully. Maybe in your school or in your office, in your workplace, in your church community, because you're volunteering, that's how you build the network. You go there. It starts with having something common. Maybe you are in a volunteering for a common organization, you're in the same church, you're in the same school studying, so whatever. So something common, you guys, begin to integrate. And there's something I didn't add, and I want to add is the weather. The weather is completely different, right? Nigeria is quite
Yes.
humid and hot. Norway is dry and cold, and during the winter it's terrible. The seasons are stark. The winter can be lonely, can be depressing, can be so many things. So that's why you have to be intentional. You need to, when you're coming to Norway, you need to prepare yourself. It's not difficult. It's not like the you. I mean, you will survive the winter, but you can't. You need to be intentional because it's a shock. It's going to be shocking for you when you come in and you're going to experience 5 months of darkness. You know what I mean? Where you only see light for 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. That's all. That's all. You'll see light for 3 or 4 hours for 5 months. How do you deal with that? This many. So these are some of the things, experiences that were shock to me. But of course, we have to adjust. Manage our expectation, and integrate ourselves further in order to be able to make the best of every season, winter, summer, and all of that comes with Norway.
Interesting. I think at this point I'm really curious. Getting light for for 5 hours or 3 hours for 5 months. Was that what you said?
Getting a light, when I mean light, I mean sunlight.
Okay.
Sunlight. So the
Okay, not
sunlight,
electricity.
no, 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 no. The
I wanted to
sunlight
ask you
is,
they were as bad as some people.
no, no, no. I was speaking to sunlight. Of course, no, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Okay.
about sunlight. This sunlight is a scarce commodity in Norway. So,
Wow.
right now it's summer, and people are out enjoying the sun because we have the sun throughout. Maybe the sun sets at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on where you are. 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening. So people are out enjoying the summer, but in the wintertime, there's no sunlight. You're experiencing sunlight for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours a day, and it's
Wow.
mostly dark. It's mostly
Interesting.
dark. I can tell you. So these are things that, especially if you're coming from a place like Nigeria, where it's, you don't have those kind of experiences, you need to start you need to be aware of this, being aware of it, and knowing how to manage it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that part because while we are sharing all the good things about Norway, we don't want somebody listening to this session and then going there and saying, "You guys skipped the part of
Thank
3 hours."
you. I'm telling
Ah,
you.
all right. So
But
I want to we're about to wrap up the session, but I want to pick from one of the things you had said about how breaking into the circle of those people can be a little bit, tough sometimes. Could you share with us? I'm sure you've been there for some years now, and I'm sure you have
yeah,
been able to break in to some extent. Could you share with us um, some things you did that allowed you to be able to, build that kind of relationship with them?
I think the first thing is to find your tribe. What I mean,
Okay.
find your tribe. Find people that sort of have similar values with you. Some people will go to, anywhere and find their tribe. Maybe their tribe are those that drink, those that cook, right?
Okay.
Or you find
Yeah.
your tribe or those that go to church communities, or you find your tribe those that volunteer, those that hike, those that run, those are just so many of those kind of groups everywhere scattered around Norway. So you can, it's just about finding your tribe. There are people who are doing different things, and so it's very very easy to break into your tribe here
Yeah.
once they find out that, oh, this person likes to run. You can join the people that run. This person likes to swim. You join the, different, volunteers. Oh, we want to. Yeah, maybe you'll find your tribe of those that club or what. For me personally, I took solace in finding my tribe within church communities. It was quite easy. They were very accepting, and I joined church communities, and I think those were the first networks that I built when I came to Norway. Of course, I came as a student, so I was very quick to find my tribe around, you know, students, uh, student unions, student communities, and all that. And we did a lot of stuff together, networked and made friends. Of course, I've been in Norway for a while, so my network has continued to grow from not just
Bro.
student communities and but also now to work communities, professional
Mm,
communities, and all that within Norway, and keep expanding that network. And in Norway, it's very important. I want to say that reference is very important. When you recommend someone, they always take it very seriously. That recommendation is regarded heavily in Norway. So that's why it's good to be in a group, a tribe, build your network, meet people that share similar values with you, professional network, volunteer network, church networks, or just all the activities network. Being able to build those tribes are key and important as well.
amazing. Thank you so much. I believe that is really practical enough for anybody who is considering going to Norway and looking for how to break into that cycle. I had mentioned earlier that we're going to talk about the various ways people can come into Norway. Could you share with us some of those ways people can come into Norway?
Yes, so Norway is not very. It's not. I'm sorry to say, but Norway is not a very open country, like the U.S. Or maybe even Canada. It's not that open for people to just come in. So they have very limited ways of coming into the country, at least legally. And so the first
Okay.
and easiest way is to come in as a student, and also you can also come in by actually getting a job directly from Nigeria to come into Norway. Of course, you can
Okay.
come in if you come. You can also come into Norway through spouse. Maybe your spouse is here. You can come in through your spouse as well. And so those are
Okay.
the practical ways of coming into Norway. So as a student, you can come in to study a course, sometimes maybe a master's program, but also you can come in as a PhD student now. So in Norway, up until 2 years ago, master's education or university education was free for non-Europeans. But now it's no longer free for non-Europeans. It's only free for Europeans and Norwegians. But Anyone outside the EU zone, like Americans, Africans, Asians, you have to pay a fee, and it's quite expensive. And so, in the last 2 years, we've seen a massive drop in international students coming into Norway because of this tuition barrier that was instituted 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember. And I think it's 3 years ago, 2, 3 years ago. And so that has really reduced the number of students coming into Norway. So, but that used to be a major way through which people came to Norway. They came to study and they applied for a master's program or PhD program. PhD program is different because as a PhD, you're coming in as a worker actually. You're working for the university, but
Okay.
you're actually in a PhD at the end of the day because they're paying you. They're going to be paying you as a worker. So coming into Norway through a PhD is one of the best ways to come to Norway because after your PhD program, you qualify to apply for a permanent residence. I think so. After 2 or 3 years, that's 5 years or so, yeah, you can apply for a permanent residence very quickly, in Norway. So it's quite a very good way to come to the country. But recently, I think it was a few months ago, the government reviewed their decision about tuition fee, which used to be that they decided to put on tuition fee as a barrier, but now they have reviewed it and said universities can choose to put it or not. So hopefully from next
Okay.
year we'll begin to see that some universities will take off those restrictions so students can continue to because that's how I came. And that's how many people I knew came. They came through that free education to study and then get a job. So, or number two, you can come through just getting a job directly from Norway. I know a couple of people who got jobs from Nigeria and they're here in Norway. They applied for jobs mostly within tech. It's mostly always within tech. There's a shortage of tech skills, AI skills, and all these powerful skills. So if you're vast in those areas, you can go to LinkedIn and check for jobs in Norway. Apply for those jobs if you're qualified. You'll be surprised. I know a lot of people that have come to Norway through jobs. Sometimes it can be a contract job for 1 year. It doesn't matter. It just brings you into the country. I mean, 1 year, you'll get another job. And then after 3 years or so, you're able to. After 3 years or so, you're able to apply for a more permanent stay within Norway. So there are
Amazing.
the process. There's a process to this. I don't know how because, like you said, these are the methods of coming, but there's a process on how you go through your immigration journey, right?
Okay.
So you come in as a student and just finish your studies. There's the process through which you continue your journey and until you become a more established person within the country. But I believe that Norway is not that. While it's a close country to come into, when you come in here, if you want to stay here, you will stay here. Number one, of course, there's a language barrier. You have to learn the language. You have to be able to speak Norwegian to get certain jobs. So language barrier, but it's not for those that are determined to learn. You can learn the language to the extent that you can make yourself valuable enough to be hired for a job. Some people couldn't get a job because of their inability to, master the language. But I wouldn't say that it's difficult to learn the language. You can master the language if you want to, if you put your heart to it and master it. It will help you not just for getting a job, just really general communication, general interaction, and networking as well. But for the vast majority, most Norwegians speak English. Most Norwegians speak English. So you can communicate easily with many Norwegians, in English. If you're a good English speaker, you can communicate. Or if you want to go deeper, if you want to go deeper and deeper into the Norwegian system, I recommend that you learn the language.
Thank you so much. I think I love how you have used one stone to kill two birds. Because I was going to ask you if there is this language barrier, but I'm glad you talked about it. So I'm going to ask you
Yes.
one last question, and then we'll wrap up the program. If you were to start all over, say, while you're in Nigeria, you want to go to
Yes.
Norway, or you just got to Norway, what would you do differently?
What I would do a lot of things differently. I think first of all, I would, to my mind, I will be more focused, more prepared to integrating. quick and fast enough. Don't delay it. Integrate quick and fast enough. If you have to learn the language, as soon as you get to Norway, start learning the language. Start learning. If you keep postponing and postponing it, you might never learn it. So start learning, start integrating very quickly. Start knowing the system, how it works very quickly. It will help in the long run. It will help in the long run. Number two is find your niche and skill up in your niche. Find your niche, don't waste time, and scale up there very quickly. Know what is required in your niche. What does your quick niche require? What does it need to what does it take to succeed in your niche? Find it out and you know begin to work towards it. Very, very important. In- And I would say that because when I came to Norway, I felt that I stayed a lot more with my Nigerian community in my comfort zone. Don't It's good to be with your Nigerian community and all of that, but get out of your comfort zone. It's a mistake that many of us make when we come to a country. We're looking for Nigerians. It's good, you find Nigerians and all that, but quickly try to see how you can begin to integrate. If you have to learn the language, if you have to learn some things, know some stuff, mix with other people, maybe uncomfortable at the beginning. It may be feel because nothing, no, it doesn't feel comfortable at the beginning. But I can guarantee you, it may be uncomfortable at the beginning, but I can guarantee you that it will be worth it eventually. So that's one thing I say. And I'll wrap it up on saying that Norway is a great country. A lot of people don't know about Norway,
Yeah.
but it's a country. It's a nice country. It's not an average country. It's a very developed country. It's The quality of living is even higher than the US and all of that. So it's a very good country to relocate to. It's so family centered. Well, that's one thing I love about the country. For those of us that want to raise good families or want to start a family, it's a family centered country. It considers family and all that. And it's a place that have very good work life balance. And so there's that structure, work life balance that helps you to, not just do work, 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 but work and also have time to do other things that are important to you and all of that. But of course, no, it's not just another thing. Side note, finally, is that it's a very beautiful country in terms of nature, and so there's so many places to visit in Norway. Beautiful mountains, beautiful fjords, rivers, and just really nice attractions that you might breathtaking attractions that you want to see around Norway. We have them here. So it's a place you would not have enough time to visit all the places. I can tell you. So that's another plus for why you
Yeah.
might want to come to Norway. And of
Yeah.
course, having a Norwegian passport gives you access. It's one of the strongest passports in the world. You can check it. I think it's in the top six passports in the world. You can check it, and so it gives you access to so many countries all over the world. Easy, free access. And so I think um, it speaks for itself. Thank you.
I think at this point, no one needs to make you an ambassador because you have so way to us that
Uh,
to Mr. Michael, as always, thank you so much. And I really love that you talked about the things that are really, really important for anybody who is looking to go to Norway to know. Um, as much as we talk about the good parts, you also talked about the things that could be a challenge to people. And it is in knowing what is a possible challenge that you prepare ahead before you find yourself in that place. And when you prepare before you go there, you wouldn't have that challenge wrecking you as it would wreck a lot of people who did not know about it. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you for your time. I don't take this for granted. I love to say that I'm very blessed with the people that God has put in my life. If I'm to be paying all of you, I'll be broke by now.
no, it's, I'm, I'm,
So,
I'm, I I count it an honor to be a part of this journey and to
Thank
contribute
you.
my quarter to this journey. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate the
you.
good work you're doing, and I look
Thank you so
forward to
much.
more collaborations with you as we
Absolutely.
move on to greater heights in this great work that we're
Mm.
doing together. Mm,
Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, we cannot end this session without telling you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. I like to say
absolutely.
that
I'm
we
subscribing.
have just one goal here at Grow With More, and that is to help you become a better version of yourself in every ramification. And we do hope that you're finding this content helpful. Your feedback is important to us. Please, you can share in the comment section the things that resonate with you, even from the session that we have had today. Like, comment, share with your friends, especially those who are confused about what country to go to. They may just decide to come to Norway. So once again, thank you so much, everyone, for listening and for watching down up to this moment. And thank you again, Mr. Michael. You know I can't thank you enough. Even behind the stage, I'm still going to keep thanking you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. All right, everyone. Till we'll see you again in our next session next week. Do have a wonderful week ahead. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye.